Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be touching on what we've learned through 4 games and some trends that have developed. Would appreciate a like and a sub if you want some more Warriors content. Let's jump right into it, starting with the Kings. Fox and his offense have absolutely translated to the playoffs. He is averaging 31.5 while shooting 45% from the field and obviously carrying the overall offensive load for the Kings. They're running easy reads for Fox and making the right pass or hitting big shots time and time again, truly deserving of the clutch player of the year. Another thing that we've noticed is Sabonis has struggled mightily in this series so far, maybe not as big of an impact player as we thought he might be. He's had one good scoring game so far, but the rest he's struggled offensively. His biggest impact through 4 games has been his offensive rebounding or rebounding in general. He's averaging 12 per game. He actually is a minus 36 for the series so far in plus minus, while Looney is a plus 22. So obviously that's showing that Looney and Sabonis, which they are typically matched up in the series, Looney is getting the better of him on the defensive end. I think one of the issues with Sabonis is he's not as dynamic offensively as maybe some thought. He really only has a couple moves, mostly just banging and trying to get you too low under the basket where you can't contest his shot. But we've seen a couple times now where he is just lowering the shoulder and getting called for a charge foul. Another key piece that Sabonis has impacted the offense, though, he is a great screener for Fox. He sets a screen, Fox makes a move, then he reverses the screen, and Fox is typically able to get downhill and either get a decent, look at a layup or a floater, and those have just been automatic for him. Through the 4 games, Kings have been getting one role player that have made a huge difference for them, but it's been a different role player every night. The first being Monk, then Mitchell, and now Keegan Murray in game 4. Who's it going to be in game 5? Is it going to be Herter? Herter is actually only shooting 14% from deep, so he seems to be due for a good game, which could swing that game specifically. Although I will say Herter is guarding Steph or Clay, and he is running around the entire time he's on defense, and shot making really does come from your legs. I think that could be playing a big factor as to why he isn't shooting as well compared to his night-to-night performances in the regular season. Finally, for the Kings, they've been playing some tough defense. I think I've said this a few times now. The Kings are really showing that they can and are able to play good defense, much higher level compared to their regular season averages. But when it comes to defense, it's mostly mental and it's being able to stay on a rope with your teammates. And I think that's just where the Kings struggle a little bit, but they have played really good defense 2 out of the 4 games, and that has been a difference maker for them in this series. All right, let's jump to the Warriors. Steph is also averaging 31.5, exactly the same as Fox, but he's doing it on 49% shooting from the field and 40% shooting from 3. Great numbers by Steph. He is definitely carrying us offensively, but this is what we expect and this is what we need from our MVP. The one difference here for the Warriors is Steph is getting some consistent help from Wiggins and Clay night in and night out. Both are averaging over 20 in the series, and Clay this last game had 26 on over 50% shooting, so that was huge for the Warriors, a big reason why they won that game. Wiggins also consistently has been playing great defense. He drew the assignment of Fox or Monk, both extremely quick players, but now that Wiggs has knocked off the rust, it feels like he's playing much more confidently and his offense is coming as well. Poole unfortunately has been very inconsistent. Similar to what we've seen in the regular season. He did have a great game in game 4, but I think we're going to need a little bit more pop from him if we're going to win on the road. Now, I will say he did roll that ankle in game 1, so it feels like, now that we're a week removed from that incident, he has a little bit more energy and he's moving much better on the court than in game 2 and game 3. Obviously, that was probably a big reason why he wasn't as effective. It was bothering him a lot more than I think they were leading on. My hopes is we can get one more good game from Poole, and hopefully that's on the road as well, because I think that could be a huge offensive swing for us to take home one of these road games. Funny enough, I think we learned from game 3 that we need to lean in on our offense versus our defense. The Kings are just too good offensively for us to get consistent stops. I think that's just a trend in the NBA now in general. You have to outscore teams on a night-to-night basis, and I think that's what we learned from game 3. I think going into this series, we thought we were going to lean in a lot on guys like GP2, Dante, and Kuminga, all defensive-minded players, but in reality, we've needed the offense, and I think that's also why Moody has had some really good minutes. Now, defensively, he's no slouch, but offensively, he can space the floor and he can attack the rim as well. Jonathan Kuminga had a quick stint in the regular season where he was shooting almost 40% from 3 for, maybe a week or 2, but that fell off again, and we just can't rely on Jonathan Kuminga to be out there offensively. He just seems lost. Also, the very few minutes that we saw JaMychal Green in game 3 were pretty positive minutes. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more of Green. I do think it's something physical. I think he is not 100%, and that's why, he was forced to be out there with Green and GP2 out. So JaMychal, he's one of those players where he's going to be inconsistent, but when he's on, he's hitting threes, and he's a decent rebounder as well. Would love to see a little bit more JaMychal Green out there. Unless he truly is not 100%, then it's probably not worth it. Okay, some closing thoughts. I thought we were going into this series going to have a very defensive-minded game plan with GP2 and Wiggins back in the lineup, but we've learned after game 3 is we need to lean in on our offense, especially if we're going to steal one on the road in game 5. Kings are playing a lot better defense than their regular season stats have shown, but overall it's been a much tougher matchup than I think going into this series. Fox is an amazing player. He truly is going to be, an all-star point guard in this league. I think this is his coming out year. They snagged the 3rd seed because of him. He is playing the defending champs better than we've seen anyone. I think the trajectory for Fox moving forward is going to be really high, and I think we're going to see him on a lot of all-star ballots, and the Kings are going to be a team that you don't want to face. Steph is still a postseason MVP. He is carrying this team offensively, still hitting ridiculous shots, making plays for others, and honestly, just like overall dictating the pace of the game. I think the key thing for Steph is he knows when to insert himself and just say, hey, give me the ball, I'm going to take over from here, and when to get guys in rhythm. That has been a huge intangible for the Warriors and why Steph is so important for this team. This series specifically feels similar to the Boston series where we were down 0-1, tied it up 1-1. It was 2-1 in favor of Boston, and then we rattled off 3 wins. It felt like we needed those few couple games to understand what they were trying to do and get comfortable in the series. And now that we've won 2 in a row, I really do think we can go into Sacramento and get game 5. And if we get game 5, I think we'll close it out in 6. This has been a series of inches. A few shots go in here and there. Game 1, game 4, the series could look very different. I think both teams genuinely think it should be 3-1 in favor of their team. But that's just a sign of a really good matchup. Just really fun to watch, and excited to see how game 5 unfolds. Thanks, guys. Leave your thoughts below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.